The last thing I said in Alexa 7 was a erratum, where I'd previously said that if no matter how many radio buttons you had, you only need to put the code in one of them because it'll always be triggered. And in the erratum I said, no, that's not true, because if you have more than two, it may be triggered or it may not be triggered, because when you change radio buttons, only two of the check changed event handlers will be triggered. In effect, the one that becomes unset and the one that becomes set. And I came up with that theory more or less by just thinking about it. And that's not good. In fact, you shouldn't believe authority. The authority may just be thinking about things the way I did and not testing them. So in order to test that theory, I created a program. My test of the two radio button theory. And it basically consists of 5 radio buttons put in a group box, because I think it's general good policy to put it in a group box, although if you're using all the radio buttons on the form as a group, you don't really need to do it. And then I also have 5 labels which are invisible because there's no text in them. And I have a clear message button, which the labels are the messages. And basically what happens is when I click a radio button, the message for that associated with that radio button, the label, shows a message that the click change has happened. In fact, every click check changed event that's triggered leaves a message. And the code for that, I'll go to the form, is basically just this. I have the check change and I have radio button check changed as the label. So that should display if that radio button check change event is called. And then in the clear labels button, I simply go through and I set all the labels to blank. And you'll see in a minute why you need to do that. So now I'm running the program. And right now the test 1 is set by default. And if I click the, say, test 5, what we should see is a message for test 1 and a message for test 5 if my theory is correct. So I click that, and that is indeed exactly what we see. And here we come up with a problem with the test, an instrument error, an intervening variable, if you will. And that if I click test 4 now, you'll see 3 messages. And if I click test 3 and test 2, you'll see all the messages. And that's not because the check change is being called. That's because those labels have been set and they just stay set. So what we need to do is do a clear message. Right now test 2 is set, and if I click test 4, I should see those 2 messages, and that's exactly what I see. If I do a clear message and I click test 1, I see radio button 1 and radio button 4, exactly what I should see. If I click test 5, I see 1 and 5. So this verifies my theory, which is great. It means I don't have to put out an erratum on my erratum. And I think the more important lesson that should be learned from this is the essence of the scientific method, which is whenever you come up with a theory, you should put it to a test, and don't believe the theory until the test works, and in fact be willing and happy to change the theory based on the test results if they don't verify what the theory said. That's how you come up with a better theory. Well, until lesson 8 or Alexa 8, remember to focus and learn a lot. I'll see you then.